Happy Thursday!
Hey, how's it going?
Going good, my man. How about yourself, brother? How's your week been?
Going well. Been enjoying the fact that we've had a little bit of warmer weather lately, taking advantage of getting some stuff done around the place, and also probably spending a little bit too much time playing Helldivers 2, but
Yeah,
it
me
is
too. I would like some of that warm weather, though. We just had snowstorms the last 2 days, and it's like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, no, here, I think it was like 57 today. Wednesday, it's going to be 62 next Wednesday.
Well, by then it'll probably get here. It's just running slow. So I want to say, hey, thanks everybody for stopping in today. We got Wild Angels just before she's going to work. Have a good night at work, dear. And Abdul, my man. Man, Wild Angel beat you, buddy. Got to get in here sooner. And of course, we had the lovely Rose. How you doing, Rose? Good to see you, my dear.
Hey, sweetie.
And Rooster, my man. Yo. How we doing, brother? So a little too much time. Uh-oh. Sounds like you're in trouble. Hey, I'm guilty too. I've been doing it. All right, there he is. BTK, my man. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Billy?
Okay, so things are going nuts. I mean, we've got the State of the Union message going, I think, right now. Or really close. It's any minute, I guess. It's all over YouTube and all that. And, I don't know what's going to be said there. Any speculations on what's going to happen?
Well, whatever they say, unless it contains the words "not great," is probably going to be a lie.
Probably so.
I don't know.
I don't even pay attention more.
The union of the state is not great, guys.
Great. Exactly. So, yeah, I don't even pay attention anymore. Anything that's mainstream media, I just ignore it. I learned stuff for myself, and that's what we want all of you to do. Do your own research. Start to understand what's going on behind the scenes, because what you see on TV is probably not real. They're trying to get reelected, man. Come on. They're not going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think they tell us that they will give us flying pigs, or they would put the world's top scientists on it if that's what they thought they needed to say to get elected. But anywho, moving on.
Anyway, now I've noticed a very strange pattern. I want to bring this to your attention so I'll get your input on this. So over the last several years, we've seen kind of Bitcoin and Ethereum almost mirror each other. I mean, they've run pretty much neck and neck, maybe a split second behind. But now we're seeing the exact opposite. I'm seeing Bitcoin go up and Ethereum go down, and then they reverse. What the hell happened to make things just break that connection?
Yeah, so the term is correlated asset, right? And most things in crypto tend to be correlated to one another. If one of them's going up, they're all typically going up. The exception is if it's something that's paired to like a stable coin, right? But the reason why crypto assets, including chain natives, are typically correlated is because they all have LP pools that link them, right? We've talked about that some on earlier episodes about how the LP pools work and everything like that. But because Bitcoin and ETH have LP pools with wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ether, when Bitcoin's going up, it's going to naturally drag Ethereum up with it, and vice versa. Same thing for the reverse. So be aware of that, right? And correlations can break sometimes. When a correlation breaks and you stop seeing them move in tandem, that's typically when more money is flowing into that asset over the other one, significantly so. And so you can see Ethereum going up, and if people are selling Bitcoin to buy Ethereum, that's going to break that correlation. You see that happen a lot of times because people tend to understand that, well, a lot of them understand now that first Bitcoin will run and then everything else will run with it. And so if Bitcoin does a sudden jump up, you might see people rolling into Ethereum. And so Bitcoin comes down and Ethereum goes up, right?
Gotcha. And how much do you think from the ETFs we talked about in the last show is affecting that? Are we going to see like a drastic difference? Is it going to be a constant break, or is it going to start to kind of level out and start to correlate again?
Well, I think that we'll see correlation rejoin. I know a lot of people in the crypto space, especially Ethereum maxis, they like to talk about something called the flippening. And that's when the market cap of Ethereum becomes worth more than the total market cap of Bitcoin. And there's been a couple of times it got really close to that. So that's what a lot of people in the crypto space are looking for. But that's going to be difficult, I think, because of the ETFs, and they are pouring so much money into Bitcoin specifically that may help break that correlation. But on the flip side, you do have all the retail traders who are trying to front run the ETF effect on Ethereum. So they're trying to buy Ethereum, and Ethereum's shooting up right now, right?
Right.
ETFs for Ethereum are a ways off. We've seen what they did for Bitcoin. So people are trying to front run that. And so Ethereum is likely to kind of keep up with Bitcoin's rapid increase in the meantime, simply because of people trying to buy Ethereum.
Right. Okay. And that makes sense. And it's one of those, it really kind of stood out to me over the last week. It's like, okay, what's going on? Am I missing something? And I want to make sure we covered that today. Now you mentioned a second.
A lot of it has to do with the money flow cycles, and we've talked about those before on previous episodes of how the money will flow through the different types of assets and commodities.
Exactly. And so BTK says paired to stable equals has a price, paired to volatility. Yeah, sorry. Paired to volatility has an exchange rate. You want to clarify that a little bit?
He's saying that if it's paired to a stable coin like USDC, then it has an exchange rate to US dollars, right? A lot of people, they think that, let's use what's something that we can use as an example here? I know WIF is popular on Solana as a meme coin right now, right? But it's paired to, or I think it's paired to Solana, unless it's paired to USDC.
I think
either way. Okay, cool. So let's grab one that's just paired to Solana. We'll say random meme coin A, right?
Okay, perfect.
And it's paired to Solana. Solana is not USDC. It's a volatile asset. It goes up and down in price, right? So our meme coin, which is paired to Solana, doesn't actually have a price, right? And that's where a lot of people tend to get confused. They look at the charts in dollars. They don't go to the DEX screener and then click that little button at the top that switches it from USD to whatever it's paired to. That's what you should be doing, because that's going to give you a more accurate representation. When you have a coin, or a token in this case, that's paired to another volatile token, it doesn't have a dollar value. It has a amount of this token value that it can be exchanged for. And this token has a dollar value because maybe it's paired to USDC, right?
Right.
That's where that comes from. And that's what Billy is saying right there. If it's paired to a stable US dollars or a tokenized representation of it, then it has its own price. If it's paired to a volatile chain native or some other volatile asset, it doesn't have a price. It has an exchange rate.
Okay, gotcha. And that makes sense. And that's something that's very important to remember when you're looking at these meme coins or different crypto projects, is what is it paired with? Because if it's just to another token, man, watch it. Because now you got to watch that other token as well. Because if it does something funky, whatever you have could be wrecked or go to the moon. You don't know. So
it's part of the reason why technical analysis does not work on microcaps. If you see someone sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to TA this DeFi project that we're all in, they're feeding you a line of BS, or they don't know enough to know that it doesn't work on microcaps, which means you shouldn't be listening to them anyway, right?
Exactly.
So with microcaps, the reason why TA doesn't really work is because typically they're paired to another asset. And unless you're mindful that, hey, this other asset, it just finished a pattern or a head and shoulders and it's about to drop, and you're over here looking at a cup and handle on your meme token that's paired to it, you might think it's going to go up, right? Not the case, because what it's paired to is about to drop, which is going to drag its price down with it. Or you just have a whale who's like, oh, I'm just going to sell 5% of the supply today, and it dumps the price, even if your technical analysis said it was going to go up, and for all intents and purposes, it should have, but it was ruined by one person, and that's why you don't TA microcaps.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's an important thing to remember. So now you mentioned earlier about liquidity. Now I was going to ask you about that because we're seeing a lot of the new V3 liquidity coming out. Now, we've all learned about V2, we've dealt with it, we understand it, but some may not understand exactly what the difference is between a V2 and a V3. You want to give us a quick rundown on that?
Yeah, let me see if I can give a good analogy that would be a decent representation. All right. Let's picture that we have a token, right? And we want liquidity for it. And we take 50%. Let's say we want to make an initial liquidity pool to $100,000. So we take $100,000. Let's say we want the price to be $1. So then we take 100,000 of the tokens. We pair them together, 50 and 50, right? Now the liquidity pool, and this is a V2 LP that we're putting together at the moment. The V2 LP will have a $200,000 liquidity depth, right? Because we had our 100,000 together. It's worth noting, though, when you're going around doing your research, that it is not $200,000 extractable. It is $100,000 extractable, but a $200,000 deep liquidity, right? So be aware of that. But that is how a V2 LP works. When you go and you want to deposit into it, 50%, 50%, put it in, and it applies it to the entire price range from 0 to infinity. So anytime someone is trading that token, after the show, Austin,
when we're done, we got to go save our robots.
Anytime someone is trading that token, it pulls from that liquidity, and that regardless of what the price is, if you put liquidity in and it's covering that whole range, you get a little piece of the trading fees, right? Now, V3 is kind of similar. It's not going to go in at a 50 to 50 rate. It depends on what the current skew is, right? So there's all sorts of factors involved with that too. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, or we'd have an entire episode just about this. But essentially, when the V3 pool is first created, right, they set the initial range that they're initializing the pool with. Typically, they'll set the full range, and then they're going to apply the liquidity, but not to the full range. They're going to apply it to a section of the range. So maybe between two, since our token price is $1, maybe we want to set the range between 50 cents and $4. Excuse me. Now, anytime trading is taking place on that token, as long as it's between 50 cents and $4, it's trading through our liquidity pool, right? And we're earning those fees. If it goes under that, then we no longer are earning fees. It's not trading through our liquidity. If it goes over that $4, we're also not earning fees. But the reason why people will use this is because they get to concentrate their liquidity into a tighter range, right? So let's say you felt overly bullish about our meme token, right? Started off at $1, you're thinking to the moon. Cool. So you would not really worry about anything under $1 when you're applying your liquidity. You would add your liquidity to like $1 or maybe like 90 cents to like $2, so that all of your liquidity is compressed into that range, meaning you're getting more of the fees that are coming in because you have a bigger share of the pie while it's trading in that range. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. So you're sitting there earning all the fees as it's shooting up and up and up and up and up. And then as soon as it gets outside that $2, you would need to break your liquidity pool, move your range, and remake it, right? Until you do that, you're not earning any fees. And when you do break, that's when you're locking in what's called impermanent loss, right? Which that's a whole nother thing. We're not even going to touch on that right now. But the difference is essentially that V3 concentrates your money into a specified price range, which you can then manage. You can set it for where you think it's going to go. You can set it for where you can just set it for a wide range if you want to be more passive with it, or you can keep it tight ranges to get higher APR. Completely up to you. There's a lot of platforms out there, automated liquidity management, ALMs, like Merkle's a big one. There's a lot of DEXs out there that will offer this service. You see it a lot with V3 or VE33 concentrated liquidity DEXs. But bear in mind, when you are using a platform like that, you are not earning anywhere near what you could be or should be earning. So just bear that in mind. You will always wind up making more if you just go do it yourself instead of using a platform like that, because they don't actually pay you out what you're earning. They give you a token instead that you can then pay more money to turn into a token that you can sell. So again, don't worry about that kind of stuff. Just focus on yourself, focus on learning how to do it yourself, and you'll be able to make money no matter what's happening, whether it's bullish, bearish, etc. You're not relying on some other platform.
Perfect. And yeah, that's one thing I'm starting to see a lot of the narrative come out. It's like, oh, we're a V3 DEX and we're a V3 this and we'll do everything for you. And that hype is starting to build. So we want to talk about that and make sure you guys are aware of that. So understand what it is you're doing before you dive into it. And if you don't know, man, jump to the Discord. Ask some of the community members. I guarantee we got somebody who has already learned, probably the hard way, hopefully not, but probably, and can give you some insight before you start throwing money in random projects, because the hype is starting to build. So we got to be extra careful now.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't be going to websites that other people send you. I know that we've touched on safety before, but I just want to reiterate, because yesterday a friend of mine lost 20K. They got phished. They were able to get malware on his computer through a link that looked legit, and the malware bypassed all the safety checks and took all of his savings. So just be careful. All right. Anything, if you don't know how to set up a virtual machine on your system to open links inside of with a test wallet that you have in there that only has like dust or crap, then just don't be clicking on links, period. Right. It's just better to be safe. Always typing them in yourself, etc.
Exactly. And yeah, we can't stress that enough here. Is safety is key, and it's getting worse. I mean, scammers are running out there. They're everywhere. I've had 2 people tell me, hey, we had Serenity invite us to a group the other day. I'm like, no, I didn't. So check, double check. And you know what? When in doubt, throw it in the Discord community. If you get an invite from me or a message from me, I have no problem. You say, hey, Serenity, is this really you? I want to see your face on camera. I'm happy to do it anytime. So just be safe out there, because you've worked way too hard and done too much homework to have it all lost because of one scammer.
Absolutely.
So, hey, Danfo, good to see you, buddy. Russ says, hi, Danfo. So now, not promoting anything, but I did see in the news recently that Cassandra launched their DAO. And we talked about that a little bit in the last time. And I started to think about this. In the last bull market, we started seeing a lot of DAOs popping up. And people said, oh, we're going to get rich here. But that was right at like the tail end. And everybody who got in at the hype, they ended up bleeding to death. I'm not sure a lot of people understand what a DAO is and what are the benefits of it. So I want to make sure we take a few minutes to let you guys know what is a DAO. So, Cyril, what is a DAO and why is it a good thing or a bad thing, or how can we earn from it?
Yeah, so DAO, it's an acronym, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, right? It's basically like, think of it like a board of directors that have different voting weight dependent on how much shares they have, right? Just like your typical board of directors. Only in this case, it's decentralized. So they have a token, typically their native platform token or whatever token they're using. And the more of it that you have, the more votes are cast when you vote for something. And DAOs, they were created for a couple of reasons. One of the most common reasons is so that when regulation hits, the alphabet groups don't have anybody to point at and say, well, you were running this project, so you're responsible, because they can be like, I wasn't. It was all these other people. But it's also worth noting that that doesn't matter. And there has been a lawsuit that went against an actual DAO, and they went after each of the people in the DAO. So every single holder. So make sure you know what you're getting into with the DAOs, right? But yeah, so DAOs were initially created to side skirt a lot of regulatory requirements, right? And they're actually recognized as legal entities in Wyoming. So when you're creating an LLC, you can register it as a DAO instead. So again, another thing, but that gets super messy. And a lot of people don't run a DAO the correct way. And DAOs, there is a risk where if a certain group of individuals manages to collect more than 51% of the vote weight, right, they can essentially go in and shut down the project, or they can go in and liquidate it, because a DAO is set up to run autonomously. Whatever the votes pass decide is what happens automatically at a smart contract level. And there was actually a group in 2022 who went around, they would look at a protocol, they would do some math, they would see, okay, is it worth buying up a portion of the voting rights and then voting to have the treasury distributed to the holders? Will we make money this way? And the answer often was yes, because what would happen was these communities would raise a bunch of money and then nobody really knew what to do with it, or they would just have it invested as Ethereum or whatever. And so it would just be sitting there. And so these DAO raiders would come in, buy it up, vote to close it. Everybody would get their disbursements, and then they would leave, right? So there's a lot that goes on with a DAO. They can be run a right way. They can be run very wrong. So just make sure, as always, you do your research on it. But that's essentially what a DAO is. It's a group of individuals who are using dollar bills to vote based off of their holdings, essentially.
Okay. Now, in most DAOs, obviously there's got to be a reason to go in there to vote. I mean, short of you just like voting on things. Is there typically like a reward system, or what's the best way to research these to understand what is right and what is wrong?
Yeah, so typically there's some protocols where if you're staking the DAO tokens, you can earn more, right? So that's kind of an incentive to not sell. You're getting dripped more vote weight over time. Some of them, you vote on decisions that the treasury's making, or you vote on decisions as to, oh, maybe we're going to migrate to this network or bridge to that chain, or we'll buy this business or that project or these NFTs. And so it's like the community makes those decisions. Again, I don't know why you would want to hand the decision making to a group where the majority of them is just people who got lucky, right? And they didn't actually bring business decision-making experience to the ecosystem in the first place.
That's a good point, because most people in crypto, honestly don't have a clue how a lot of this stuff works. I mean, that's why we're here, right? We're here to try to help educate you, guide you, and teach you, and also watch out for pitfalls that maybe we learned the hard way, or some that are coming up that haven't even been invented yet. Because make no mistake, right now, the crypto world is evolving. We're seeing a lot of transitions everywhere. And so some of these pitfalls, we don't even know are there until we trip over. Somebody's got to do it. And so that's why we're going to be here every week trying to tell you guys what to watch out for. So we're not just going to tell you the good stuff. We're going to tell you the real stuff, because that's the most important.
Absolutely. And I wanted to leave a little thought, because you had mentioned that crypto is still new and is still evolving and is still growing and changing. It's worth noting that crypto has now officially been around for 18 years. Okay.
Really?
Yes, in some form. The very first crypto actually came out, I believe, in the early 90s. Yeah. Bitcoin was the first popularized one, though. However, it is not the first crypto. And here's a little, I know the answer, but I want you guys listening to see if you can find out what the very first crypto was, and then write it in the comments. There you go. A little bit of engagement. See?
Let's do it.
I'm figuring it out.
There you go.
Anywho, what was I saying initially? Oh, yes. So 18 years old. How many of you wish that you had had the opportunity to seed round buy into Google?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that Google did not first get founded until 18 years after the internet was created?
Huh?
Mhm. So that is showing you essentially just how new the crypto space is. Okay. You have to give it time. Infrastructure is coming. Right now, there is honestly, regardless of whatever they tell you out there, there's like for infrastructure when it comes to DeFi right now. Okay. Um, that's just the truth of the matter. And as we see infrastructure coming to DeFi, like imagine if Google had never entered the picture. Imagine if Amazon had never showed up. It's like these companies played a major role in the impact by bringing innovation. We're kind of at the point now where there's going to be companies that do come in with something truly innovative in the space, and it's not going to make a lot of sense at first, right? Innovation rarely does. You have any idea how many people poo-pooed Amazon when they first said, oh, we're going to build an online bookstore?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Right. No one was really interested. There was a guy in the late 1700s or 1800s, I don't remember which, who was the head of the British Patent Office. And he resigned his position saying that everything worthwhile had already been invented. So there's plenty of change coming in the space. It is still in its infancy, especially when you consider its market cap compared to the rest of the finance world. And
that makes sense. And, that brings about a great line of thought there is we're starting to see things from last bull market popping up now. And they're just reiterating. There's nothing new. There's nothing innovative. So please remember, when you're starting to look at projects today, look a few years back. It's like, hey, that looks a lot like this guy. They changed the colors, the characters. It's the same crap, just being mixed up and redistributed with a new fancy label. Yeah, full circle of life. Unless it's something that's truly unique that you go, whoa, I've never seen that before. That's the kind of stuff you want to pay attention to. Otherwise, you know what the past is. Play the money game. We talked about that in many episodes. Know when to get in early. As it goes up, start selling it out. You know the game. You know the tactics. Utilize them to your benefit. And so don't marry to them and just be smart out there. See, I know we had... Sorry.
No.
Fair dog pins.
That is correct.
Yeah, first cryptocurrency, eCash by DigiCash in 1990.
1990.
Good job, Rose.
That was 33 years ago. Or wait, 34 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. Hold up. What is it?
2024.
Yeah, 34 years ago.
34.
I had to think about that because at first I started using my age and I was like, oh, I was 2 in 1990. And then I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I was born near the end of 1990. So my math's not mathing because I'm not 36 yet.
Right. That's pretty sad. You were 2 in 1990. I graduated high school in 1991. That tell you anything?
Well, I think, what was it? 1990. So that would be 2003 is when I graduated high school.
It's pretty bad you have to think that hard about it.
It was a long time ago, okay?
Wait till you're my age, Buckwheat. But hey, on another side, some of the questions I was asking today is actually a hint for our voting. Any guesses?
Oh.
Yeah. Who wants to know what we voted for? Come on, put your hands up. Let's see the hands. What did we vote for?
But I thought we'd do that at the end.
Oh.
And we're supposed to do our dance off.
That's right.
I'm here to dance.
Okay, fine. Man, I'm all screwed up. The automatons, man, they got my brain cooked. I'm not going to lie. See? So, this week, I want to say, first of all, thank you for everyone who started putting a message into Discord because there were a lot less numbers I had to look up. But,
that's good.
Yes, if you're on the voting list and you have a hashtag 0 after your name, that means I had to go look up your identity. So do me a favor. If that's one of you, jump in the Discord, say hello, share some information, get to know these people, because that's where the fun is really happening. So when you're trying to check out, I am trying to check it out. I'm trying to go game time. I blame it on him. It's all his fault. I'm excited. I can't help it.
I don't do nothing.
Yeah, sure. But as you guys know, everything we vote on here on Rags to Riches is chosen by you, the viewers. You guys decide what we vote on, not us. In fact, I delete my name and Cyril's name. We don't get to vote. We just show up here and have fun. But if you haven't voted yet, the polls open every Thursday morning, and they run for till Wednesday night at midnight. And they restart. Now, if you cast your vote for whatever you decide, you get to join in the dance-off, which is Dance for Cash. Wow, I'm having problems with words today.
That's all right. Words can be difficult sometimes, but you know, when words start being difficult, that's when you're like, all right, throw up the list of the names and start the dance off.
Exactly.
They won't notice.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So we didn't have as many voters this week. I was really kind of disappointed, guys. Yeah, I know. It's sad. And, add to stage. Let me do that. So here we go. I know it's for ants. Go ahead and make fun of me.
I don't know. That looks like a pretty long list to me.
Yeah, but we can still dance.
That's okay. I missed the dance off.
Okay, that's fair. We got to dance every once in a while.
We can every once in a while. We have a light week of voters. That way we can do a dance off. And then next week, y'all gotta, rack it up so we have like a scroll bar and we got too many people for a dance off.
Right. We need to come up with something else besides the grubfish and the dance off. So I'm gonna keep my eyes out for something good. But as you guys know, if you cast your vote, I want to say thank you, first of all, for giving us your opinion. But also, we've had some unique votes popping in. Some new protocols being mentioned. And we'll take a look at those here shortly. But if you do cast a vote on something that's not already on it, jump in the Discuss the Vote channel. Share your links. Share whatever information you have. But remember, if you guys are clicking in those links, double check them first. Make sure it's from a source you trust. And be careful. Security, even in the Down Home Crypto server, we try to keep it locked down, but man, scammers get by. So please, just be careful out there.
Yep.
I'm okay.
It's I hear myself.
You hear yourself? Yes, that's because I unmuted. Sorry, Sarah. I got the sound, though. I'm ready. So, as you guys know, I am on the list of Serenity Plus 10. So, the winner of the dance-off gets a $10 prize. But if I happen to win, I add $10 to the pot, we shuffle, and we go again. And we'll keep doing that as long as I keep popping up. So, you ready? Let's do it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big money, no whammies. Shake it, baby. Shake it. There you go. Now they're boogieing. Oh, right down the middle. Oh, that was brutal. And I died. First one. Yeah, now they're dancing. See, now they're moving. Come on. Gosh, Cheetos, Amani, Marcia. Oh, man. They're dropping like flies. Who we got left? Royal. Sorry, bye, Royal. And Royal's one of those who had the hashtag. Gotta say hello, Royal. Cafe Guy and Falco, and they're down. We got left. We got Roostar. We got Funny. We don't have Funny Toro or Danfo. I'm gonna shut up now. John Richter and Hades. Come on, 50-50. Who's got it? Come on, boogie, baby, boogie. Ooh, Hades getting close. Ooh, now John's getting close. Oh man, that's sketchy. It's like a meteor shower in Helldivers. Oh, Hades bought it. John Richter, congrats, my man. Well done, sir. Okay.
Congrats,
as you know,
John.
Huh?
I said congrats, John.
Yes, congrats, John. As you know, we changed it, so shoot me a DM in the next 24 hours, Down Home Crypto, and let me know your wallet address, and I will send it over. What we're going to send, well, that's kind of a surprise, too. It could be AVAX, could be USDC, could be Matic, we don't know. Either way, we'll get it sent to you. So congrats. Thank you, everyone, for casting your votes.
John, have him send you his KKF.
I can do that.
Take it from him.
Yeah, no way. Okay, so, Cyril, now the markets have been going up and down. We've hit a new all-time high in Bitcoin, man. That was exciting. And then we've got other things pumping through the roof. It's kind of all over the place. That has to be good for our portfolio, right? Give me some good news, buddy.
Oh no, the only place things seem to be going is up right now. So we started the week with $1,299.28. We ended the week with $1,400 $414.90 for a profit of our biggest week yet, dollar-wise, of $115.62, or a total of 8.17%. Our total portfolio is now in profit, a total of 24.78% over what we have put in.
That is amazing. That is our biggest profit range ever. This is getting crazy.
It is indeed. And let's take a look at our spot holdings here. Spot holdings are pretty solid as it sits currently. Most of the stuff has been going up. BNB is getting very close to where we said we would be taking profit on it. We said 500, and we would convert part of it. I forget how much we said. I'd have to go look at the last episode. But when it hits 500, we said that we would take partial profit on that, and it's sitting there at 470. So we're getting close. And then we have, of course, we still have our Elephant WBNB and the LP on Pancake Swap, and that's gone up in value. We have $1.59 in claimable BUSD from our Mass BNB Singularity staked, which I just went ahead and staked the other half of the Mass that we had. So that'll be earning as well, since the stake for our first one had expired. Let's see, what else do we have? All right, let's take a look at some price fluctuations. So pretty much everything went up pretty significantly. Switch obviously has dropped like a rock. Paper has stayed relatively flat. It hasn't really gone up or gone down or done much of anything. It's just there. Mass, same story. It's kind of come down mostly from where we had got it. I think our average price was a little bit higher than this, like in the 50-cent range. And then, yeah, everything else is pretty much just up with the market. And I know our KKF last week, it was $164 per. This week it's at $184 per. So it basically went up almost 20% in a week. Our KKF was at $4.62, I think, last week. It's at $5.24 right now, or $5.23 right now. So yeah, our portfolio has been doing great. I think everyone did a great job at their picks. As you can see, what are our weekly earnings starting to do? It's curving upwards and starting to kind of, we call that a what? Anybody?
Good day.
I was going to say parabola, but and then I know BTK got lucky. AKKF had dipped during that flash crash the other day, right before then. BlackRock went and bought like 15,000 Bitcoin or something stupid like that in one shot, bringing it right back to where it was. And so he picked up his DCA there and then was like immediately in profit. I'm like, ooh, good job.
Nice job. And actually, looks like your price is a little bit off there, bud, because, yeah, we're up to 528 now. Oh,
snap. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and stop won't stop.
Exactly. I love it. So, no, we're doing really good. And, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I put out a video just a couple days ago talking about our journey right here. The fact that we've utilized nothing more than the price of lunch. And we're getting to the point now where literally for eating a peanut butter sandwich one day a week, we're getting paid over $100 a week. That's freaking insane. I mean, that's what we're doing. Really trying to get the word out there. So this is where I need your guys' help. Do me a huge favor. Like and subscribe to the channel, but tell your friends about us. Let them know that it's not a scam. All these things, the social media is talking about, oh, cryptocurrency, it's all a scam, or not going to happen. You know what? I just made a short today about BlackRock. Your retirement fund is going into cryptocurrency. It's not a scam anymore, guys. This is the future. We've got to start telling people about this. So need your help to spread the word and get this out there. There are way too many people that have no idea what's going on because all they do is they watch that stupid box that tells them crypto's a scam, you're going to go broke, while the big businesses are taking control of it. Got to get the word out there.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny watching the institutions talk about it the way that they've been talking about it over the last 10 years. And it kind of reminds me of the way they handled the 2008 housing crisis. So they knew all of the mortgage bonds were going bad a couple months before it actually went belly up and the market crashed, right? But they used that time. They kept propping it up essentially long enough for them to load up on significant shorts, which had to be created because currently nobody was really shorting the housing market because that was basically like shooting yourself in the leg. You just didn't want to do it. And they loaded up on those shorts and then they stopped propping it up. And then they just hands off, let it free fall when everyone realized it was crap. So it kind of reminds me of almost the inverse of that, where they've been poo-pooing it, creating these attacks against it with the SEC. They've been using Gary Gensler as their attack dog, etc., to just suppress the price of it so that they could load up, so that they could pass their ETFs, so that they could start buying at a cheaper price. I mean, think about it. This bear market wasn't supposed to be quite this bad. The one that we were just in, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't supposed to be that bad according to the charts. However, they went on the attack. They had Citadel take out Luna. They tipped off CZ over at Binance to take out FTX, and then they took out CZ over at Binance, right? Just in disarray, event after event, lawsuit after lawsuit, prison sentence after prison sentence, all with the intent of what? Because they were getting ready to approve these ETFs. They were getting ready to buy into these. This paperwork had already been out there, because that stuff just doesn't happen overnight. It takes easily a year for a new ETF to go through the process of getting rejected, applying again, getting rejected, making changes, getting rejected. Like, there's a lot of back and forth with that. So then why were they doing all of this? The only reason left that makes sense is they were trying to get a better entry position. Just like they did the inverse of by propping it up when they were trying to get a good entry position on shorts for the housing market.
Now they're trying to hold it down. It's like, no, please don't go up. And right. So on top of that, they're manipulating the public. They're telling me, no, it's a scam. It's fraud. That's why there's all these lawsuits. See, you don't want to invest in this. And then at the drop of a hat, they say, we're going to take all your retirement money and put it in cryptocurrency. Huh. Wow. What happened to the scam?
Well, it's because they're not educating the general public on the difference between crypto and DeFi, right? Yes, the majority of DeFi is scams, right? The way it all works, it's all just a game of hot potato, okay? We've talked about this before. We understand it. We know the process. It's just a bunch of people standing in a circle, chucking money in and hoping that somebody... it's a game of chicken, right? It's right. PvP. But crypto, like the actual chain natives and the technology behind it and blockchain tech and Web3, all of that is completely different. All this other stuff was built on top of it because that's the nature of decentralized. Anybody can do it, right? You can come up with an idea, whether it's good or bad, and then go do it. And it's up to the people supporting you whether or not they think your idea is good or bad too, right? And a lot of the DeFi space, because it is PvP and it's not really integratable right now with regular business because the infrastructure is not there, right? We're at year 18. Google's just now getting founded, whatever that winds up being, to bring the infrastructure there. It's not there right now, which is why I always tell people focus on the blue chips, focus on your chain natives, because that's stuff that they're building the infrastructure for first. That's the stuff that's actually going to matter. That's the stuff that everybody has to buy first in order to go into DeFi. And then if you've got a little bit of extra money that you feel like essentially throwing away and hoping that you make some good money back from it. You can do that with some speculative plays a little bit on the side, right? But just stick with the blue chips for now. Until you really know what you're doing, until you have money that you can just throw away, stick with the blue chips.
Exactly. But of course, if you do know what you're doing, if you lived through the last bull and bear and all that, you probably have a good idea and you know how to play the game. And that's when you can start playing the DeFi game. But when you do, be careful out there. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because somebody else may throw in a black card and away you go. Game over. But if you do it right, if you do it strategically and smartly, you know the rules, you can win. So just be smart out there. And the biggest thing is, when you win, other people lose. And whether that's their lack of education, that's because they have more faith in it or not, that's their choice. And you don't have to stay married to it. And you know what? You can throw a black card on your best friend right next to you. It's like, hey, sorry, Cyril, here's a black card, man. That's the game. He agreed to play. I agreed to play. That's just the way it goes. Be smart about it. Don't marry to anything. Don't believe the hype. Do your own research and decide for yourself. It's time. Throw the black card, take some profits, and head for the hills.
Yep. And it's great because I'm seeing more and more people in the space kind of realize that is essentially what the space is, right? So an easy way to describe it, and I believe there was another, and I've been describing it this way for a while, but it pops into mind again because I believe Alex Becker made a video on that recently, where he describes it as the stock market is PvE. If you play games, you know what that is, player versus environment. And crypto is PvP, player versus player. In the stock market, you can just buy some shares in Boeing and sell it whenever you want. And you're not, it doesn't matter because the stock market year over year trends upwards. So you're not really taking money from anybody, right? Here in the crypto space, especially the DeFi space, it is PvP. Every single person that you see in the community is someone that you are taking money from when you sell, right? And that you need to remember that they are combatants, right? We all came to the space. We all signed up. We all drafted ourselves, strapped into our hell pods and dropped down, right? But the only difference here is they are not your squad mates. They are the enemy that is also trying to put in little, take out more. And then we're all fighting over the same pile of money. And that's where DeFi projects will eventually die, right? So just keep all of that in mind. Don't get too emotionally tied in. It's okay to make friends in the communities. It's okay to enjoy being in the communities. But don't not sell because you don't want to hurt the project. The moment you see a project talking about that or saying things of that nature or sell shaming, sell everything and just leave, right? Because it's not worth it. A lot of DeFi projects survive as long as they do because they emotionally manipulate their community. There, I said it.
It's true. That's the absolute fact. They play games. I mean, everybody does. I mean, that's how we teach our children, by manipulation of some sort. And manipulation is just changing from one form to another, whether that's education, that's ice to water, that's whatever it is. We all operate on some level of manipulation, and you can manipulate in a good way. Okay, it's not necessarily a bad thing to manipulate. That's how we teach. But the biggest thing here is don't let yourself get manipulated. Don't put your knowledge on the back burner and let your emotions run. That's not going to work. You're going to get wrecked.
100%.
Yep, absolutely.
But I know you guys are smart, right? Because you're clearly on your journey of learning. Otherwise, you wouldn't either be watching this or have stumbled across this later. And I know that there's a lot of smart people in this community. So let's see what those smart people voted for. What are we buying this week?
You think we should? Actually, before we do that, because I've got like 2 minutes before I have to shut this down. So real quick, Cyril, I want to ask you on something here, because we are smart and we know that we are going parabolic on our chart here. Now, you had mentioned a couple of the DeFi investments we made months ago that are either flatline or on a decline when everything else in the market is going vertical. So we know we have our rules of solvency, the ones we're going to run with our 2x and our 50% we cut our losses, things like that. At what point in time is it a good time to take those flatliners and say, you know what, I can take that revenue and put it into something else?
Yeah, realistically, I probably would have done that already if I was managing this portfolio. I was kind of hoping that someone would bring that up, so it's great that you did bring it up. Um, I know according to the rules we set for this particular exercise, the asset had to drop 50% before we would straight cut it and move on. How do we want to treat non-performers? Do we want to cut them for the losers they are? Or do we want to, or sorry, not losers.
Wow, that was subtle.
Comparatively, opportunity loss. Let's put it that way. It's opportunity loss is what it is. It's great that they're staying flat, maybe only declining a little bit, but that's opportunity loss because the rest of the market's going up. If you are invested in something that has just been declining for a long period of time and they're like, oh, wait for the bull market. If it didn't do anything from this, it's not going to do anything from the bull market. It's still flat or declining. Ditch it, move on. You're costing yourself money. If you ran a business, would you be okay with your employees just sitting in the break room the entire day? That costs you money. Put them to work or fire them. Okay. This is every single dollar of yours is a business. Investing is a business. You need to treat it that way. Okay. Put it to work. If it's not performing, get rid of it. Move on to something that is. Yes, I agree. I think that we should be getting rid of any assets that have either stayed flat or declined from the rest of the market. But ultimately, I'm not the one who makes the decisions for that. So you guys need to go into the discuss the vote category and say that you want to do that.
Right. And let us know. Throw your thoughts in there. Throw some ideas. What should we do? Should we level or get rid of everything that stayed flat over the last 3 months or declined? And where should we put it? Should we include that into our next vote? Do you think we need to put it into one that we've already got? Share some ideas, and we will do what you guys decide. Once we get enough ideas in there, we'll set up a poll, and I'll let you guys vote for it. And whatever you guys decide, that's what we're going to do, because we're not here to make your decisions for you. We're here to guide and help you in making your own decisions. And that's for the entire community. So you guys get to choose what it is we're going to do.
Speaking of choice,
it is that time. Dun, 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 dun. I tried to do this earlier, but you yelled at me. I got my time frame all screwed up. So, as I was saying before, one of the questions I asked earlier today has to do with one of our votes. Can you tell me in the chat which one of the questions do you think it was? I'm curious. See if they were paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give him a second to see who puts it in there. So, while I'm waiting for somebody to respond, guys, remember, tomorrow we have Freaky Friday. And I've been putting a poll out on the community tab right here on YouTube for you guys to vote for. And I think we've got paranormal, conspiracy theory, and I forget what the other two are. Yeah, I'm really trying to give you guys the power of everything here at Down Home Crypto, because that's what it's about. It's about the community. It's not just about us getting rich. I mean, we can do this. We can talk amongst ourselves like, hey, should I buy this? No, you're an idiot. Okay, fine. We do that a lot. But we really want to make you guys a part of this, not because we're selling anything or showing anything. All we want to share with or show with you is education and proper thinking of the crypto world and just the world in general. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. And nobody has mentioned it. So you ready to see the votes?
Yes, let us see the votes.
The answer to my riddle was, what is a DAO and why is it important? Why is that important? Because guess who won? Ha ha ha!
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we will be adding the Casey token to our portfolio then over at Rags to Riches. For those who are not aware, Cassandra DAO is the platform that KKF and AKKF are built on. And so any of the revenue that they earn from that, they do use a portion of the revenue to buy back and then burn the KC token. So it's almost kind of like double dipping.
It is kind of double dipping, isn't it? Yeah. I wonder, Cyril, how much is our perceptions manipulating their votes? I've been kind of worried about that. So, guys, we need you to cast your votes and share your thoughts. We want to make sure that we're not just, you're going where we say. We want you to decide. So Make sure to discuss the votes.
I like that they went with Matic, right? Because comparatively, Matic was lagging behind the other chain natives. So it was good that they picked Matic. That was a good decision, guys. And had we grabbed Matic sometime during this week, we would have got it at like under $1, right? Because I think when it flash crashed, it dropped down to like 98 or like 96, something. I don't know. It dropped. Now it's up at like $1.13 last I looked, or 16, or I don't know. It's in there somewhere. I only hardly pay attention to the prices these days. $1.16.
Okay. Yeah, it's all going up. And so, I think these are good votes. And we've even got a couple new entries on this. So I'm really proud of our crew for that. I mean, somebody added Manta. Yeah, added Manta here. Solana. We got Monstro. Perion, I don't know about, but I didn't see it and discuss the vote. I went to look for it and it wasn't there. Guys, this is where it's so important. I want to know about it. So yeah, jump in there and share the information.
Yeah, if you add something to the list and it's not there, or it's not something that we already have in our portfolio, you're almost like obligated to put something in the discuss the vote to at least tell us about it, or give us a link or a chart or something so we can go look at it.
Exactly. You don't have to write a full dissertation on here's what this project is. No. Throw a couple links. Say, I like this because. Or
Plus,
don't.
what happens if it winds up winning? I don't know what it is. I don't know what the token ticker is. How am I supposed to buy it?
There you go. So, guys, here, yes, we give you the power to make these votes, but at the same time, you have a little bit of responsibility to tell us what the hell they are, because that helps.
Just a little.
Yeah. Anyway, so guys, I want to say thank you very much. Everybody who joined in today, everybody who's watching the stream, thank you so much for being a part of this amazing community. Make sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends about us. We're really trying to change the world and educate the people out there. Now, along with that, you're going to notice I'm not putting out a lot of hype videos about airdrops and all these different things that everybody else is doing. Mine is more education. It's like, hey, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? That's our focus. We're here to guide and teach, not to get rich or to hype up some project and make millions. So please help us do that, because that's what our journey is all about.
Absolutely. And thanks everyone for joining us. And, be sure to tune in tomorrow to Freaky Friday, because Serenity and Wild Angel sent like 3 or 4 different types of Idaho specific candy bars, which have been sitting here in a box, and I want to eat them. So we will be giving our thoughts on those during Freaky Friday tomorrow, as we discuss the paranormal and conspiracy theories.
Whatever else might make your brain hurt.
Yep. And if you have Hell Divers, shoot me a DM so I can add you to the Hell Divers 2 Discord, and you can drop in with us and fight the good fight.
Let's bring it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care.
Have a good one.